What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the first episode of Season 2 of this War of Mine. I have a confession to make. I've been sort of obsessed with this game on the side. I turned off my Steam Sync and I have 3 games running right now, like one on my laptop, one on my work computer, one on this computer, and it's just a game that I've been playing way too much of lately. That being the case, I figured I might as well record one of my runs since I was going to be doing it anyways, and so I put a vote up on the Facebook about what group we were going to play, because now you get to pick your group. But the reason I really wanted to revisit it is because they dropped a big patch this week, like a huge 1 gigabyte patch that actually adds a new place, it adds a new starting base, it adds a new set of characters, it adds like a whole bunch of new stuff that you can play along with, it adds new events, and so I figured we'll check it out. The 1.2 version of the game looks pretty cool. I'm playing it anyway, so I figured I would bring you all along with me. Let's jump on in and play the game. How about that? So you can actually pick groups right here, and they each have their strengths and weaknesses. On my laptop, I've beaten most of them at this point. I'm about to beat this one. I've beaten this one. I've beaten this one. This one right here I could beat, but it's kind of a... you start out with a lot of dead weight on this one, but every group has its own things that it has to start with. So for example, this group right here is great at building, but they start out in the winter, which makes their whole thing very, it's a big struggle until day 10, but if you can make it till day 10, they're actually a really strong group. This group right here can essentially kill anybody they want, not really have to worry about it. They don't really have a conscience. They're just like, they just like murder people. This group right here has a lot of dead weight, and that's the challenge, is that they don't really have any equitable skill sets. Pavel's basically the only useful person in the entire group. Anton can steal without getting sad, and I think Zlata can play the guitar. This group can trade really well. This is a really solid all-around group. This group right here is fairly solid as well, although still not amazingly so. This is the stealth group right here. I put it up on the Facebook and had everybody vote about what group they wanted to see, and everybody overwhelmingly, almost unanimously, said they wanted this group right here. So that's what we're going to go with. We'll go with this group. And the way that you play with this group is going to be a little bit different by comparison to our last group. Now, this group has no person who counts as a designated scavenger. That means the biggest inventory we have in this group... we didn't get the new place. That's disappointing. Maybe I'll re-roll it. Let me see if I can re-roll it and get the new place, because I'd rather play at the new place. There we go. Now we got the new house. This house is pretty cool, actually. I really like it. I like this house a lot, in fact. This house tends to, I think, have a tad more loot. I haven't really counted it out just yet. I could be wrong right there. Don't quote me on it. In fact, I'm probably wrong right there. Definitely don't quote me on it. Let's start clearing out some of this debris. And what I'm going to do is have Roman start looting everything. But essentially for this group, there's a couple of concerns. The first is that, let's talk about our benefits first and foremost. We don't use a lot of food materials. That's pretty good because of Bruno. Erica is basically dead weight. I don't really like her that much, and anytime I get her in my group, I'm just like, and I kind of think about like running her into a firing line just so I can get somebody else. But she's okay in case you got to stealth through a zone. The concerns this group is going to run into is that nobody has a good inventory in this group, so you have nobody that can scavenge worth a damn. And this can become a major issue down the line for you, because it means this group is always behind the curve when it comes to building new stuff for their house, because they just can't carry enough materials. The most you're going to be able to bring back with you on any given night is like 10 wood and 20 components, versus a group like Boris, for example, who can bring back just an utterly absurd amount, like 40 components and 14 wood in one night, where you can live off of that for a day or two while you scavenge other things. When it comes to having Roman as your primary scavenger, you need to kill a lot of people, first and foremost, kill a lot of people and take their stuff, and then B, you need to only take the valuable stuff when playing as Roman, because you want to bring it back. Trading is going to be far more important to this group than it's going to be for any other group, aside from maybe the groups with Katya, which seem to be designed around trading. So keep that in mind as you play. Essentially what you're going to do is you're going to make up for the fact that you can't really scavenge that much by trading for your deficit every few days with the trader. And that's just, you have to play the game like that with this group. I don't think I've actually beaten the game with this group. I've beaten the game with the Marco Pavel Bruno. I've beaten the game with the Katya group, and it's not going to show up on my login screen here because I don't have my Steam save synced. So you may run into, there's going to be that guy who's like, I saw it said you didn't complete it. I saw it right there. It puts a little thing over their faces because I have played this game so much that I know that it puts a thing over their faces. And I'm like, yeah, it doesn't have the thing over their faces because I play on my laptop in my free time. Anyways, we actually seem to have okay stuff. This is my favorite part of this whole place, the tree house. I love the fact, like, this is a tree house right here. When I was a kid, we had these things that went up into the tree, and then there might be like a little platform, like a little tiny platform at the top with a railing or something, and that was like a pimpin' treehouse. This right here is a treehouse for the ages. If your dad built that for you, you have the best dad ever, or a dad with just a whole lot of free time. But judging by the size of this house, I don't think dad works very much. I think dad is like independent. Maybe he does work a lot. Dad is definitely capable of wealth though, like a 2-story basement and a 3-story house. This is a big house right here. Whoever lives here was wealthy as hell. I can only think of like 1 or 2 houses in my hometown that are this big right here, and they're all like in that really, really ritzy area from the 1800s that people pay like millions of dollars to live in. Crazy. Totally crazy. I'm gonna try and clear this out and get up into here. I realize this isn't the most like thrilling first episode, clearing out dirt and dust and debris, but we don't really have a choice. I'm not gonna actually, let's start building stuff. We've got all the materials out of this place, so we might as well get started. On the first day, you always want to build a bed. That's the first thing, like always build a bed. If you don't build a bed on the first day, people sleep poorly because they don't like sleeping on the ground. I've done it before, so I can definitely attest to the fact that sleeping on the ground totally sucks. I'll probably put the beds in just in this little, well, let's put the bed over here. It'll clear out this debris after this episode. And then what we want to do is we want to get a metalworking shop up and running so that we can get a crowbar and break into the rest of the rooms in our house. Now, some people will recommend not doing this. Like the pro MLG people will recommend not doing this, the min-maxers, because if something stays inside of a cabinet, it can't be stolen until you loot it, technically. So until you loot it, these cabinets do not become fair game from what I've read. So let's say that there's good stuff in here. The enemy can't steal it until you loot it. That means like until you open it, not until it goes into your inventory. Once you unlock this and open it, they can steal from it after that. But up until that point, from what I understand, it kind of works a little bit differently. We're going to make a metalworking bench right here to make ourselves a crowbar. We have enough components left. I'm kind of playing balls to the wall right now because I would prefer to play that way because you have to with this group. I'm going to play a little bit more riskily. We're going to go for kills where normally I wouldn't go for kills. This is not going to be a nice guy playthrough. If we have to kill innocent people in order to like secure things that we need, well, so be it. But we've got a group that basically doesn't suffer from any form of conscience, and so we need to use that as a strength rather than a weakness. I mean, that's what it comes down to. We can treat our lack of a collective conscience as a weakness, or we can treat it as a strength. I personally would rather treat it as a strength. Once we get this crowbar up and running, I'm going to start prying open some of these. Actually, no, just pry open these 2 cabinets. I'm going to sit him right here. I don't know if we're going to have time even as it stands. You can only pry 1 door at a time if you have 1 crowbar. Someone should search for supplies at night. Captain Obvious swinging on through it. That's part of the game synopsis, amigo. Oh my god, frog in my throat at the wrong second. I don't know why that happens to me so much, but when you work with your voice like I do, like 6 hours a day, you find that just randomly your throat's like, nah, and it just like seals it. Where are you going? I didn't tell you you could walk off. We got like important things to do over here. Oh good, we got pills and food. That's always a benefit to our communal survival. That makes me pretty happy. You should go up here and get ready to pry off that door too if you can get up there. I think if we can manage it before the day's over, it's probably a good idea. Just save us a little bit of time tomorrow. All these debris piles will be out of the way so that we can build on top of them and stuff later. With her, we'll have her do that. Let's get started. It takes about 3 hours to get rid of a debris pile. So putting in an hour and a half on the first day does take a dent out of it for the next day. So if you've got extra time sitting around, you may as well. It'll take you around 3.5 hours, I think, to clear a debris pile with your hands, give or take. I've timed it out, and it seems like I started at midnight one time and cleared out a debris pile, and I was still perfectly fine to get out of the zone by 5 a.m., so don't worry about it. No point putting in 10 minutes right there, though, but you see, like that right there, that saved us almost half the time it takes to clear out that debris pile tomorrow, so our scavenging group is almost unanimously going to be Roman. We can't bring back a lot of stuff with us, so we have to focus on only the good stuff. I think we're going to start with the semi-detached house, because that's going to be our first. We're going to have to murder somebody over here. So before now, there was a sniper in this building, and if you killed him, you didn't get a morale penalty. The sniper in this building is now off limits. If you kill the sniper in this building, you get in trouble. Even though I think I've always argued, so I argued with some people in the stream about this. Not like full-on like yelling, shouting, arguing, but just kind of like a lively debate. If you listen to the conversation, the sniper says that she's shooting people in the other building that's not even the one that they live in. Like, she says that she's shooting people across the courtyard who are just, like, walking around, like, looking at rubble and stuff. So, I figure she's not a nice person, but you still take a morale hit for killing her, so just keep that in mind. We're going to go to the semi-detached house tonight because that's going to be our beeline into self-sufficiency and safety. If we can rob this place on the first night, it means that we probably don't have to rob anybody for the rest of the game. We'll get a shotgun on the first level. We'll have ammo. We'll have all the things that we need in order to survive after the first day. And that's more important to me than maintaining, you know, digital moral scruples, I guess. Bring the crowbar with us, and we're going to go after these people hard. Now, the way that I like to do this map, I've only seen one set of events right here. But the way that I personally like to do this map is to do this right here. They don't see you from right here for some reason. I like to bait somebody down. And what's going to happen? The sniper's right here shooting at people. This lady's going to see me when she jumps down, and she's going to be like, oh my god, and she's going to go and get her friend because I'm inside the house. She's going to go get the girl with the gun, basically. And watch, she'll go, Botsina, there's somebody out here. And so what you want to do is you want to hide in here, and when Botsina comes by, you're going to roll her super hard. If you listen to the guy in the building over here, he says that everybody in this building is crazy and tries to kill you for nothing. So I don't get why there's a morale penalty for killing the sniper, but there's a morale penalty for killing the sniper. Off we go. Sniper's down. And we get ourselves our first gun right off the bat. This is something that I tend to do even with my good-oriented groups, because the sniper will kill you on sight. Like, let's say that I had walked through the building and over here, not even intending to loot this building. If you get to right here, she'll take a shot at you and one-shot you, so be careful about it. I mean, I still don't get why it's considered to be an immoral action, because she tries to kill you. In my experience, if somebody tries to kill you, in the words of the wise Malcolm Reynolds, you should try and kill them right back. That's life. Live by the sword, die by the sword, and so forth. But I get it. Some people will be like, well, they're defending their house. I understand that too, but once you talk to this guy over here, he says that they regularly fire at people in this building over here and try and kill them. So I think it's kind of a moral gray area. Obviously, there's something to be said about the fact that they are killing people and shooting at people in the other building, like marauders. I mean, the other guy in the other building calls them those crazy people that live in the other building. So, who knows? Either way, we're going to try and get valuable stuff out of here right now. We've got the gun, we've got the bullets, we've got that. Actually, I'm not going to focus on parts for right now. Since we've got a gun, that kind of takes our strategy from getting a level 2 metalworking bench into just gaining self-sufficiency and surviving for a little while. So I'm going to focus on things that are tradable, because the merchant's going to come by tomorrow, I think. And we're actually off to a really, really good start right now. All things considered, we're in solid shape now that we've killed the first person. I don't think Roman will bring it up. And in fact, I'll probably come back here tomorrow too and finish looting it out. It depends what the depression hit is. Sometimes you get a depression hit from right here depending. I know that if Boris kills her, he gets a big depression hit. But if you kill her with Roman, it doesn't seem to do much. If you kill her with Marco, I think Marco gets sad. I think it's also dependent on the group that you're with too. It seems to be semi-dependent. I'm actually going to take the band-aids out of here right now because they're more valuable. And then, like I said, we want to focus on value here because we can have a smaller inventory. So we want to bring back as many goodies as possible with us. Especially since we have a trader coming up really, really soon. Okay, so we've got that right there. I'm going to take the weapon parts because I'm always hard up for weapon parts. I don't know if it's just me, but I am always up. I never have the weapon parts that I need. Although, technically, I guess I could leave them. We could bring some materials back with us. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe getting a good supply of I hate his tiny inventory. His tiny inventory upsets me. He would actually be an amazing character if he had a 12 slot. That's really his weakness, is if he had a 12 slot, he would actually be like a shining example of a great character. Like, example, I think the person that I always think of is Pavel. Pavel is a great all-around character. You can have him do like anything because he's fast. He can run away from conflict if he needs to. He can still one-shot people with a crowbar if he needs to. And he can loot really well as well. Either way, we'll be alright. We just need to make sure that we're looting bullets and things like that into the future. We need to trade for bullets too, because from now on we're going to be shooting at bandits when they come through. The other thing that I want to make sure of is that we actually unlock everything in here so that when we come back... even better. So 12 bullets, that'll hold us for quite some time actually. I'll probably hit this building over here to the left, just to make sure that I've got everything unlocked so that the next time that I come through we don't have to bring a crowbar. These people are going to be upset with us because we killed their psycho marauding shotgunner of a sister. Nobody seemed to tell them that, like, when you run around trying to murder people, somebody might try and kill you back. But, you know, whatever. Whatever. Not going to talk about that right now. I'm going to unboard this building right here. I actually think that with this map, you should start from this side. And if you go over to here, then you should be punished by going in. Because when it starts you over here, you have no option but to sneak through the building and get one-shotted or go underground with a saw. It's just kind of like one of those things where they kind of force you to be an animal right here. Either that or spend a bunch of resources not killing somebody who wants to kill you anyways. And I have no sympathy for people to try and murder me, so whatever. Metagame knowledge aside, I was just sneaking through, and she came down and decided to murder me. Meh. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Roman might get depressed from this. I don't know. We'll see what happens. This thing can kind of play differently. It's odd. Like, sometimes this happens, sometimes that happens. I can't tell you. Sometimes I get in trouble for killing that lady right there. Sometimes nobody cares. It's just... Oh, so that's stuck from the other side. You can saw through right here to get a bunch more food. But this location actually becomes a fairly decent scavenging location from here on out. Now that we've neutralized everybody in that building, we may not want to stay away. If he gets depressed, what we'll do... If he gets depressed, what we'll try and do is we'll stay away from looting this place until a couple episodes from now, or for a couple days from now. Once it all simmers down, then we'll come down and get everything else from right here. And we'll get all the components as well. I'm hoping we'll get Marco as a second character, as our fourth character. Actually, not that much here. I think what I may do in order to save time is we'll just book on out of here. I know that there's still stuff being preserved right here, and we should get a trader on the second day, which will allow us to make up for the fact that we don't have a whole lot of stuff. But we'll be able to give up some pills or something to make him happy, so we'll see what happens right here. If he gets depressed, he gets depressed. I don't think he will, though. He's a killing machine, so he should be fine. He might get sad about it, maybe. We'll find out. It's kind of like one of those metagame things that we'll just have to deal with. He seems alright. He's not broken. I think he'll probably be sad for a little bit. Yeah, so he's sad. And nobody else cares. So that's one of the nice things about having one of these like psychopath groups where nobody cares about killing innocent people. The only person that you have to worry about damage control with is actually the person that does the killing. Although I thought that he didn't get I thought he didn't get sad from killing the sniper in my experience, but I guess I'm wrong. Let's go up here. We'll start clearing out some of these debris piles. We didn't bring back a whole lot of stuff, but in the case that we get a trader on the first day, we're going to be in really, really good shape. Yeah, we've got more than enough tradable materials to make our lives nice and easy. There you go. Dig some dirt. Digging dirt always makes me feel better after I murder somebody. Whoa, now I'm on an FBI watch list. There it goes. So, digging through dirt with your bare hands, it's kind of like punitive damages. You're like, ah, I cut my finger. Ah, my fingernail just fell off. It totally makes it up to the universe that I just murdered somebody for a shotgun to secure my future survival. I always kill that lady. Seriously, I always do. I can think of 0 playthroughs where I have not killed Botsina in that building. Well, hindsight's 20/20, pal. I mean, if you really want to sit there and just let her murder you, that's okay too. I'm the kind of person that's like, fight back though. I do wish that there was more options for talking your way out of problems in this game. Like, there's a big hole in the side of their house. You just kind of walked through not knowing that anybody lived there. You could like put your hands up and be like, whoa, I'm sorry, and then just like leave, you know, or be like, can I go over there on the other side and loot that building over there? And just try and be chill with the people inside. I can't believe I did it. It all went so quickly. It did, because you're an animal with that crowbar. That's why it went so quickly. You know, she didn't suffer. She was out like instantly, just like pop, 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 dead. Like, wow. Have you killed somebody with a crowbar before? Because it seems like you're experienced with that particular implement of pain. Another bullet, another band-aid, and another jewelry. We actually, if we get a trader today, we're going to be in great shape. We're going to be able to loot the hell out of his inventory. It's going to be fantastic. And my stomach is rumbling with murder. That seems like one of those lines from like, I don't know, that definitely sounds like one of the lines from like Llamas with Hats. I find that actually Llamas with Hats is funnier in German. The German version of that video is way funnier. The Llamas mit Hauten? I don't know, but it's way funnier in German. I don't know why. It's got to be the voice actors when they do it in German. I don't know, somehow when they deliver the lines, I find that it's funnier in German. Even though I don't speak German, with the subtitles in German, it seems a lot funnier to me. Hey, get in there. Oh, 3 more bullets. Wow, we're in great shape for the early game right now. 18 bullets. RNG, thy name is bullets. Hooray. Well, that's good for us. So the next thing we want to focus on is, since we have a deficit in materials, the thing we want to focus on right now is upgrading this to level 2 so that we can make an axe. If we can make an axe, we can chop up all the furniture in our house and essentially remove wood as a thing that we need to loot from now on, and we can focus purely on getting componentry and parts. That's just the way that I think about it from here on out. So in order to get a metal shop rank 2, we need a lot of components. In fact, more... No, we can get it. So 7 slots of components. So if we bring back 7 slots of components and we bring back 2 slots of wood, we should be able to build that on the next day. And what I would recommend you do is you should learn to tunnel focus when playing with specialized groups like this. There are certain things that they are just not going to be able to accomplish based on their skill sets. There are certain things they are going to be able to accomplish. See, he justifies it. We've got like soulless people in this group, so they don't even care. They're just like, if Roman killed, there was probably no other solution. It's all good. Where's my cigarettes? I'm kind of thirsty right now. Roman killed someone. What does it come to? Will we commit just about any crime to survive? Well, if you take it from an evolutionary standpoint, the ultimate crime is actually just like dying and failing to, you know, survival of the fittest. I don't want to sound overly Darwinian right now, but I'm not going to be that elk that gets gored to death by the other elk because I don't want to put my horns down. I mean, I'll leave it right there. We're playing with the killie group, so you've got to understand we're going to kill people. This is not going to be a nice guy playthrough, because if you play this group like nice guys, yeah, it's winnable, I've done it, but it's much less fun. You don't get to use the special abilities of the group, namely Roman's special ability, which is murdering the hell out of fools. This also means Roman can bring the knife with him from now on, which means he can do like snake eater kills and just be like, sink, and like drag him back into a bush and be like, ah, got him. I could actually skip the day as soon as he gets up and out. It's the law of the jungle in war. You kill or you die. There's no other way. If I hadn't done that, someone else would have. It's okay. I did this actually. I played this with Boris and I killed them on the first day. And it actually broke Boris on the first day. When you steal and you kill all in one day, Boris broke. I had to have people sit here and talk to him for the entire day to get him out of it. So there are different moral levels too, I guess, with the different characters. Like different characters will take it harder than others. Additionally, do we have herbal medication? We didn't get a trader today, which worries me. Okay, so now that he's up, we're actually just going to end the day. So there it is. I'm going to play this a little bit more rapid fire than I did in our first playthrough, just so you know what we're looking at. From the garage, we can actually get a lot of stuff from over here. You can also rob the garage, which is fairly easy. But if you're looking for materials, I would highly recommend the garage. We can go here, I guess, and see what we can get out of the place. We'll get the materials from here. We'll go to the garage later. How about that? I'm going to leave her to sleep. I'm going to leave him on guard. Actually, technically, I can bring Bruno on this one and we can leave him to guard since I think he's actually going to be better at it because he's a soldier. I think he gets a bonus to guarding the house, as I recall. So I'll send Bruno out right now. We've got to eat on the next day, but I'll have Bruno take a nap first and then that should fix it all up. I just had a rogue hiccup because I had like this giant... I had a rack. Like, I don't know how else to tell you all. I had a rack of sausage this morning, of Canadian bacon. Like the little hockey puck-shaped ones. Like, I had an entire tray of it, and I cooked it, and I told myself I wasn't going to eat it all, and then I did. Like, it was sitting there, and it was sizzling, and it was all, like, lovely and browned up in the pan, and I was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna eat myself to an embarrassing level of just... to an embarrassing amount of just gluttony this morning. So what we needed, I think it was... we needed 28, so is that 7 stacks? We need 1 more, and then we needed that right there in order to get the metal working bench done on the next day. As far as it goes for bringing stuff back with us, it may not work the way that we want it to, but at the same time, oh, let me clear these debris piles. I'll be right back. Backsies. I just wanted to make sure we got all the debris piles out of the way without you guys actually having to, like, suffer through it. I hate it when people clear debris piles, like, on camera, and I did it in my first season. I would prefer not to do. Oh my god, you're gonna tempt me like this? You're gonna tempt me like that, huh? Okay, well, I'm gonna leave that shit there. We'll come back on the next day, we'll grab it. For right now, we need components, otherwise we're just not gonna get anything done. There it is. So I needed that right there, so that gives us our 7 stacks. Probably bring a couple extra wood with me, too. And that's gonna be the run for today. Let's get on back downstairs. Now, I did want to point out, as we come to the conclusion of this episode, that my intention with this series is not for it to be like a daily series. This is going to be a series that just kind of like, I don't have space for it on my schedule right now, and I'm doing it in my free time for fun. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of like upload it when I upload it. It's not going to be like an everyday thing. It'll probably be like in the evening things, like every couple days. So you'll just have to hang out and, you know, wait for it. Unfortunately, I feel like I've already done 2 seasons of this with the press preview. We did the press preview, and on top of that, we did the entire first season. So just like, in my opinion, I think we've covered the game quite a bit. It's just like my obsession with it keeps me from... like stopping playing. Like I keep playing it because I like the game a lot. I'm actually gonna have them eat the canned food today. So there it is. He's still gonna be sad up until we get the big armchair or whatever. I'm gonna have them eat the canned food right now because why not? We've got plenty of veggies. We've got plenty of food. We should be all right for at least. Well, taking a look at it, actually, it's gonna distribute weird, but we should be fine. Is my point right now. We should be perfectly okay. I'm going to go down here. Let's get the fuel made. Actually, we haven't even built our stove yet. So actually, we may have to put the... we may have to put the upgrades on the back burner for now. We'll see if we get a trader today. We should get a trader today. All of my experience in this game says that you either get a trader on the second day or you get it on the second day or the third day. I can talk today. I swear to God I can talk today. I will get these words out of my mouth if it kills all of us. I think that the next thing that I'd put up, I would prefer to really just get like our infrastructure up and running right now. I forgot the R in that word. It's infrastructure. It's just talking about the bone structure of baby infants. That's all. Today we're going to be discussing infrastructure in our infant development courses. I always thought we can get a bonus gun from the cottage over there, by the way. The shell cottage has a gun in the front yard if you loot the little note that's in the hallway. If you loot the note that's in the hallway, there's a gun out in the front yard, and it's bonus gun. Who doesn't want bonus gun? Bonus gun sounds fantastic. Like if you go to Denny's and you're like the 100th person to order an omelet, they're like, guess what you get? Bonus gun. And you're like, yay, bonus gun. You have to do the tonal thing, otherwise it doesn't count. You need to get started on water. So I guess I'm gonna use up all my parts and stuff, and we'll we'll just get going. We should get a trader around 11 o'clock, I think. I don't know if anybody ever noticed this, but you can go like way up in the air and actually like look back on the entire city if you want to from the varying locations. The developers actually went to painstaking detail to make it actually look like a skyline of a big city. It looks really, really nice. I've looked at it on a number of maps, including Sniper's Junction and some of those places, and God, Sniper Junction's gonna suck. I can't wait for that adventure. That is gonna be a trip. I don't think I've ever done the minigame at Sniper's Junction now that I'm thinking about it. If I haven't talked about it in this playthrough, I'll tell you what Sniper's Junction is in the next episode or two. It'll probably pop up. It's one of those things that you only get on like your second or third playthrough. I don't think you can get Sniper's Junction on your first playthrough because it's basically like instant death for any character you send there and screw up with. It's a tough map. Essentially, there's a bunch of cover and a wide open field, and you've got to run in between cover while this guy in the building keeps shooting at you. It's pretty intense. It's an intense map. It's definitely one that'll get your heart pounding. Kind of like the construction site. My heart always pounds when I do the construction site because you got to kill two guys in close proximity to one another, and like the slightest slip will probably end up with you dead. We actually didn't get a trader on this day either. Strangely enough. That leaves me feeling kind of worried actually. I shouldn't have put these so close together. Now I'm feeling like they're too close. Oh well. We'll start working on water. Let me get a head count of our supplies. So we need more componentry than anything else. That's what I'm going to focus on tonight. He's still hungry. Let's get him fed. I'm going to try and bring back food, veggies, anything else that we can trade tonight. I'd like to have like 5 of each of these because that means that you've got a lot of like leeway with trading. We can go to the garage. We can trade for tools down there if we need them. You can trade medication for an axe and some components if you really, really need to, which actually is not a terrible trade. You can actually get a lot out of the guy down there at the garage who wants pills. As soon as he's done sleeping, I'll go back through and we'll end the day because there's not really that much else that we can do here right now. I think we're just about out of everything. Really hoping we get Marco or Boris as our fourth character. And in fact, I was thinking about the only other one that I would take instead of them would be Katya. I'll take Katya instead of those two because you can trade with her. And you can get amazing deals with her when you trade, but other than that, I would stay away from it for right now. If we get Sveta, I'm going to send her on her way. If we get, Anton, I'm going to send him on his way. I'm not going to take him. We definitely need somebody that's got like better. I would take Pavel, for example. Anybody with 12 scavenging, essentially. Go swap that out real quick. He should be up and running in about 5 seconds. So that'll give us a little bit more water for tomorrow. 13 water. Yep, so we can get our moonshine still up and running. That's the other thing that you want to focus on. Once the raids start, I'll probably make a beeline for trying to fix up the house. You got to patch this, you got to patch this, you got to patch this. There's a bunch of holes. But as it stands right now, we end the day and it's nighttime. I'm going to end the episode right here. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me at the Nerdcastle for the next episode of this war of mine in the second season. I look forward to seeing you all in the next episode. Take care, everybody, and hi-do.